Welcome to Ambitalk, presented by Ambigramy. I'm your host Parth, and today we are going to delve into the world of wellness and transformation. Before we begin, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode from us. With us, we have Mrs. Kiran Kaur, who is a specialist in weight loss and hormone balance and much more. Welcome, Kiran.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us something about yourself.
So I've been in the health industry over 14 years now. I started as an RN and I continue with my studies. Currently, I'm an advanced practice nurse. I have an experience in primary care. I have worked in nursing homes. I have worked in daycares. I have worked as a private duty nurse. Currently, I'm working in urgent care. And last year, I decided to focus more on weight loss, hormones, peptides, just kind of my new passion right now. And currently, I'm offering services. I opened up my telehealth
Okay.
not too long ago, just about a month or 2 months ago, because of my own suffering. And I was suffering a lot last year. So I decided to switch my gears from primary care to urgent. And now I'm more into hormones, advanced weight loss, bioidentical hormones for female, peptides, hair loss. So it's kind of my new interest.
So it's all very important for a human.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So even we know something about yourself. Like you have been you have your weight loss journey.
Yes.
A fabulous one.
So there was a time when I was weighing 230 pounds. It took me a while. It was a slow journey, but now currently I weigh about 180 pounds, and I still have 25 more pounds that I'm targeting over 8 to 10 months. So yes, there was a time when I was 230, I was working out, eating clean, and my hormones were pretty balanced. I was more dedicated, and I was able to lose weight. Currently, I'm struggling with weight loss, and I've been trying to discover why it's happening. Like, I was so successful in the past, and why am I not able to lose any weight? So I did my blood work not too long ago, 4 months ago, after trying all workout, weight training. I pretty much eat clean, and I do only 2 to 3 cheat meal in a whole week. But then I realized it's more of a hormonal and metabolic issue that I'm suffering with. So currently I'm working on those. And eventually, once I kind of start taking care of that, my next thing is I will start on weight loss again.
Okay.
But I want to do it in a healthy way. I don't want to rush into anything. I want my body to adjust, go slow, and be more compliant. So I'm focusing more on lifestyle modifications than just doing any type of diet or crash diet or fat diet. So yes, I'm getting there. Hopefully slowly,
So
and slowly I'll get there.
from this, like we understand, it's a very important procedure for a person to lose weight. Let's start with that. Why a person should lose weight?
So it is very important. I will let you know why. So adipose tissue, fat tissue,
Okay.
it's very inflammatory. It releases a lot of chemicals and increases inflammation in your body,
Okay.
which causes a lot of health problems. I'm going to mention some of them. It increases our risk for heart diseases.
Okay.
Obviously, if we are not eating good, it's going to cause our liver, what we call these days fatty liver, basically deposit of fat on our liver, which in long term can cause inflammation and liver issues, chronic issues. It increases our risk for heart diseases. It increases our blood pressure. It puts us at risk for increased cholesterol and certain cancers. And I have statistics which I can definitely provide you. And there's a lot more other issues that our fat tissue causes. Overall, it puts stress, that heavy weight that we carry, right? It puts all the stress on our joint,
Okay.
increases inflammation, puts us at risk for osteoarthritis. So overall, it affects every body parts of ours.
these are like just major health risks for a person if he doesn't lose his weight. Why a person should go to a professional for weight loss?
When you are young, when you're healthy, right? Because initially when I lost my weight, I was in my early 30s, right? My hormones were fixed. I had a decent amount of metabolism. My thyroids were okay. I had good levels of testosterone. By the way, women do have testosterone and we do need testosterone. We will discuss about that later. So everything was okay. Anything that I was doing, it was helping me in weight loss. Like if I was exercising, I was seeing the results, right? If I was improving my diet, I was seeing the results. But at certain age, as you grow old, all these hormones started to decline, especially when you are obese, you're overweight. Your body, if you're overweight for years and years, slowly and slowly, it started to damage your body. It increases inflammation. It also, stress causes a lot of other issues. Our cortisol levels goes up. That's our stress hormone. Your body becomes resistant to insulin. Your thyroids are imbalanced. Your other hormones are imbalanced. So testosterone and thyroid, they pretty much affect every single tissue in our body, including our weight loss, our fat at abdominal area. They help with a lot of things. So basically, thyroid and testosterone, they're very important. So when we age, they decline. Okay. Thyroid is also responsible for energy level, for your metabolism. So when you age, the decline in your hormones, your sleep pattern, if you're not sleeping enough. So if you're not sleeping enough, next day you get up, you have no energy. You're feeling lazy. You're exhausted. Possibilities you might not end up working out. So everything kind of affects your weight loss journey. Good sleep is required. Balancing your stress is required. Eating clean is required, right? Especially when you're aging. Okay. Now you have to put more and more efforts to lose weight because of all these factors. Clean eating, increase in protein intake. So protein helps in building up muscles. And most of the time, diets that we eat, they are low in nutrient and protein.
Okay.
Why is it important to gain muscle? So protein helps in gaining muscles.
Okay.
So muscles helps you lose weight.
Okay.
Muscles weighs more than fat. And sometimes I have seen, I know there's a lot of people who lose weight very quickly by doing all these different diets, God knows what, so many diets outside, keto, a lot of other diets. And they do show, like to media or to public, oh, look at this, we lost 20 pounds in 2 months. But they don't tell anyone, now they're suffering with loose skin.
Yes.
Loose skin on their arms, loose skin on their thighs, loose tummy. And I have done that. I have made that mistake myself. So what's happening is they're starving themselves, right? They're doing calorie deficit, which is working out pretty well. But at the end, they are not only losing fat, they are losing more muscle mass. That's causing loose skin. So it is very important for us to go to a professional. They can guide you to the right path. If you have done workout, you have done weight training, you're eating clean, high diet, high in protein and nutrient, and still you're not losing weight, then there's more to it. So going to a professional will help you finding out what is the underlying reason. Is it the stress? Are you not sleeping enough? Is it the diet that you're eating is still lacking nutrient or not enough protein? Because you need to increase your protein if you're working out. The other thing is that, is it related to your insulin sensitivity? Is it related to your hormonal imbalance? Do you need extra kick to your current diet and your workout? Or maybe what you're doing is not coordinating well with each other. That's why you need an expert or a provider that can walk you through. So they work on very different levels. It's just not about diet. It's just not about exercise. Also looking at the factors causing you not to lose weight. What is the underlying reason, right? Is it the sugary drinks that you taking, or is it the amount of alcohol? All that matters. Especially my focus is not to just walk them until they lose the weight, but also make them realize that even though I help them losing weight in 3 months and have them hit their goal, once they stop doing all of that, that weight is going to come back. So weight loss is not just about weight loss. It's a journey. Yeah. Whole idea is to change the lifestyle modification. So when I have patients, I always try to make them do changes slow and steady. I don't like to overwhelm them. So if I tell them, hey, you got to change your diet, you got to exercise, do this, they'll feel overwhelmed. And they do it for a couple of weeks. They're tired. They'll give up or back off. So we work on few things at a time as their body is adapting and they're learning to change their lifestyle. We keep on adding few steps at a time. This is a long-term journey. It's not like a 1 or 2 week thing. And when I feel like they have already done all of that, and now we are fixing their hormones and underlying causes and kind of fixing their thyroid, metabolism issue. Yes, they are successful to lose another 5-10 pounds, but they still have 10 more pounds to go. But now they hit a plateau where they're doing everything. I have helped them. They're on a track, right? But they need to go another 10 pounds. That's where we bring the medications. Okay. And there are so many medications beside what's being advertised online. There's so many medications people don't know. I know these days, GLP-1s, trizepatide, Manjaro, Zepbound, all that famous on internet.
I have a question for this, actually. Okay. So, should we buy medicines if we see it online, or should we prefer to go to a professional and then take those medicines?
It's a big no for online. So you don't know the resources, right? You don't know who's making those medications. You don't know if they're purified. You don't know what's in there. So this is what happens. So there are these companies, the real manufacturer of GLP-1 and trizepatide, Lilly and Novo, right? They are the direct companies, pharmaceutical companies. But there are other compounding pharmacies. These pharmacies we have all over America. Okay. They are regulated by FDA, right? Anything that they sell is being tested, and for purity, they clean those medications, make sure there's no metabolite, toxins, dyes, anything harmful for people like us. If you're buying online, who's certifying all that?
How should we differentiate between?
You have to look at the resources. That's why you go to the provider. We open up, like I have my account with a couple of pharmacies who are 503A, 50B, right? 503B. So these pharmacies are already regulated by FDA. Okay. They are not just running whatever they want to run. They are being monitored for the quality assurance, right? Yeah. The medications they are compounding are human friendly. Like, it's not like they're just doing whatever. They are following guidelines. They are being monitored all the time. They are mixing these drugs, GLP-1 and stuff. Where some will do with B12, some will do with other stuff to basically overcome some of their side effects and also give them like a extra boost of energy. Yeah. These are the famous medications these days, and they're expensive. But we do have other medications that these days, because they are so famous and everywhere online, people think these are the only medications that they can take. There are other medications, for example, phentermine, that can help with the weight loss, but it's not for everyone. So that's why you need a provider. I will explain you why. So there's other medications that can help suppressing your hunger. For example, naltrexone. There's other medication that you can use to pyramid. There are many other medications. Some of them, these compounding pharmacies combine in small amount and kind of come with a combo. Okay. Like we can add to GLP-1. So if somebody is on GLP-1 and they lost 20 pounds and they hit a plateau where they're not losing any more weight, but they still want to lose another 5-10 pounds, we add those other medications in a smaller amount to give that boost. So sometimes adding 2 medications work better than just one medication alone.
Okay.
Now, the reason why it should be done through a provider, because all these medications do have a side effect. Not every medication is for everyone. So that's why we come into the play. We go over all the history, look at their current medical issues, what they're going, are they diabetic? Do they have any risk of cancers? Do they have a history of cancers? Do they have a high blood pressure? Now, phentermine is stimulant,
Okay.
right? So people who have high blood pressure may not be the candidate for phentermine because it can basically cause palpitations in some patients, especially the ones who have high blood pressure, and can raise their blood pressure. So if patient is already going through these stuff, have a high blood pressure, may not be the candidate for phentermine.
Okay.
So that's why it's important to go through a provider. Now, with some of these patients, like, for example, let's take you as my patient. So you don't have a blood pressure, right?
Okay.
But you want to do another 5-pound weight loss. You're healthy, no palpitations issue, no heart history, and you on a kind of limited budget.
Okay.
Now, knowing that these GLP-1s and trizepatides, they're pretty expensive and not affordable for everybody, you would be a good candidate for phentermine.
Okay.
But now people not knowing when to take it and how to take it can cause other issues. It can cause sleep issues. Because what happens is when you take phentermine, it's a stimulant. Okay. All of a sudden, it will give you energy. You'll be wide awake. Now, if you're taking this phentermine in the evening, you may not be able to sleep at night.
Oh.
So the recommendation is to take early in the morning. So by the time it's night, you'll be fine. Okay. You take it in the morning, it gives you that burst of energy. Some people love it.
Yeah.
Some people love that because it's early in the morning, you took the medication, you're going to work, and now you're full of energy. You're a little bit, not hyper, a little bit energetic, that extra boost. Yeah. You're working like 8 hours, like nothing for you.
It's an easy job for us.
It's an easy job, no side effect, not interfering with your sleep. Since you don't have any cardiac history or issue, it's a good choice for you. Yeah. That's why you need to go through a certified provider. So we can work out and figure out what's best for you. Same with the GLP-1. Yeah. Now, GLP-1 tend to cause GI issues, stomach issues. Okay. So, for example, some of the patients that had GLP-1, they complain of nausea and vomiting. No. So everyone is different. Every individual is different. Some would handle it better than other. Some are more sensitive. I am one of those. I tried GLP-1 last year. At that time, I was still not so much familiar with everything. I was still going through, and I was still, reading about it. After that, I took all the certificates of weight loss, TRT, all that. But when I was not so much knowledgeable, I started taking GLP-1 through one of the providers that I knew. Next thing I know, she did prescribe me minimum dose, 2.5. I took it at night. Whole night, I was nauseous. Oh. In the morning, I was vomiting nonstop. I was feeling like horrible. And I ended up calling my work. I said, I can't make it. I can't come and take care of the patient when I'm feeling so sick. That time I didn't know. I stopped taking it. I'm like, it's not for me. And I did try one more time, same thing. So it happened 2 different occasions in the same week, like in 2 weeks. It's a once a week injection. And I didn't take it until I went myself and I took this whole course of advanced weight loss. Then I realized there's ways to do the things. Okay. So if somebody is sensitive to GLP-1, what they can do is they can break that dose. So minimum dose recommended is 2.5. What you can do is you don't have to start at 2.5 if you're very sensitive to 2.5. Okay. It's called microdosing. Okay. We can do with 1 milligram a week. Let your body adjust to it, and then slowly increase the dose and go up to 1.5 milligram, and then next week 2 milligram, and then by 4th or 5th week 2.5. Okay. So one way you can avoid these nasty side effects by microdosing it. Or the other way is to split that one dose. Instead of one injection in a week, you can now do 2 injections in a week. And for better absorption, I highly recommend on your tummy or on your thighs. Right,
Okay.
the tummy area, that's where our subcutaneous tissue is. It's absorbed better. So if now I know, so that's why I'm saying it's so important that you go through somebody who's knowledgeable, who know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Okay. You can get stuff online. No big deal. It's everywhere. But you don't know if it's pure. You don't know if it's clean, if it's being monitored by FDA, if it meets the compliance, if it's safe. Yes, you will save some money by going through online, but for long term, you might end up putting all those toxins, all those necessary dyes in your body, end up getting some type of other health issues. So it's very important that it should be done in a correct way, because this is your body, this is your temple, right? We need to take care. So I know everybody think about, oh my God, going through the providers, they charge us so much money. But yeah, they've been through schools for 7 and 8 years.
Yeah.
They spent all that money to be where they at, to be perfect at it, to walk you through basically hand in hand and make sure that you're getting all the benefits, it's safe for you, and the way they teach you, you can get all that stuff online. Nobody gonna tell you how to avoid side effects, right?
Yeah.
So if you go and look at the side effects, but they don't tell you how to avoid those side effects. We learn it because we went through schools and did the certifications.
So it's like people generally come to you after they have gone through all of this.
Pretty much.
It should be like you should come before starting anything or taking any dosage. I have also seen some gym freaks, maybe we should call it that, and they are doing bodybuilding stuff and they want to lose fat fast. So they take some fat burners. I don't know if it's good for them or it's not good for them. Like they want 6 packs in 1 month. So they will take those things.
I don't recommend going that route. Never ever. So anything that's done that quickly, basically making you to lose your muscles, not really your fat. Maybe a little bit of fat. But if you're dieting, depriving yourself from all the nutrients you need, that quick weight loss is not healthy. You lose that weight quickly, but it comes back quickly too. All those fat burners, I'm not sure about the ingredients, to be very frank. I have not taken one. So I'm not sure what's in there. Is it healthy? I have no idea. So the GLP-1 drug is also really good. One thing I do want to mention, which I forgot earlier. So GLP-1 is also, these days, with a lot of studies, and obviously it's backed by science and evidence. GLP-1 also helps with inflammation in your body. It also helps with a lot of GI issues like IBS, Crohn's disease. So a lot of these days, these practitioners, even if their patients are not looking to lose weight, but to get relief or reduce inflammation, especially gut issues or a lot of other issues, even in your body, if there's inflammation all over the place, they're giving GLP-1 in lower doses to basically balance that inflammation. So GLP-1 is a good drug. Okay. It not only helps with the weight loss, but it does help you with other health issues. Another thing I do want to mention, which obviously, I don't know if it's online or not, but once if somebody hit their weight loss goal and they reach at a goal where they want to be, now the other difficulty that I have seen, people find it very difficult now to keep that weight off. Yeah. Now they hit their weight. Now they're at 150, right? In my case, I fluctuate all the time because I'm a foodie. I'm a party person. I lost 20 pounds. I get so excited. I'm back to party. And then I gain back. And then I don't realize at that time. So now, again, I learned all this over last year. So for those people, the good news is definitely lifestyle modifications. I support that. Okay. But nobody's perfect in this world, right? Yeah. Everybody's different. Like, I do lifestyle modification, but then I get lost here and there. So keeping those patients on microdosing of GLP-1 can help maintaining that weight, along with definitely good food and 2 to 3 days of exercise, especially weight training. And we don't just exercise. So there's another whole session I can talk about why we should do exercise, why we should do weight training. It's not only because it helps you lose weight, but it has 50 million other health benefits.
Wow.
So above 40, right? Especially ladies, when they close to their premenopause or menopause, what happens is, well, we're going to do women's health very soon, but I'm just going to give you a little snapshot. So what happens is their hormones decline, right? With those hormonal shift, they started to lose calcium from their bones.
Okay.
So calcium is something that they need in their bones that makes their bones strong, right? Now, as they're moving toward their menopause, they're losing all that calcium, which makes their bone brittle, weak. I hope you remember many times you will hear people saying when older people, they fall, they broke their hip.
Yeah.
They just fell from the chair and now she had a fracture. Why? Because their bones are brittle, weak.
Okay.
These weight lifting exercises, they don't have to go crazy. I'm not telling them to lift 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Just doing weight training, whatever you can handle. You don't have to go crazy. You can start with little weight and over time increase the weight. That helps with that bone mass.
Yeah.
So this is one of the biggest benefit of weight training, especially when you're over 40, that it helps with the bone mass. So if you do that, your chances, as compared to somebody who doesn't do it, that you will have a stronger bone when you grow old. This is just one benefit. And exercise, it releases all the good chemicals, gives you energy, changes your mood, helps with anxiety. It's just a bunch of health benefits. I can just keep on going. It's endless.
So मैं ये पूछना चाहूँगा कि what kind of diets do you recommend? Like, do you recommend fat diets and keto diets and all those of like something going on in the market?
So मैं कभी भी फेवर नहीं करूँगी किसी तरह की कोई diet. I know people have done fad diet. People have done keto diets, intermittent fasting. So कुछ लोगों के लिए काम कर जाती हैं, कुछ लोगों के लिए नहीं करती. कुछ लोगों के लिए हाँ, because उनको results मिल रहे हैं, right? And they're happy because they lost 10 pounds in 2 months. With me, I have not tried any diet. सबसे पहली बात तो मैं कर ही नहीं सकती diet कोई भी. I'm a foodie. I like variety. I can't stick with eating रोज के रोज के एक वो खीरा ही खा लो, रोज के रोज एक पानी पिए जाओ सूप. I can't. I love food.
दाल चावल हर रोज नहीं हो सकते.
नहीं, not at all. So with me, it has to be different food. But one thing I realized over time, and I've been working last 6 months on this, apna Indian food is, sorry, but it's not healthy.
Okay.
The way we prep that atta is all carb. Chawal is all carb.
Okay.
And sabjiyan is good, right? Vegetables we cook is really good. But what about the amount of oil that we put in? Okay. Half container of oil in this much of vegetable. We mess up the whole composition of that healthy food into now high calorie and high fat diet. So
The gravy wali sabji.
Oh, see, I'm still watering. My mouth is watering. I love food. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना पड़ता है, right? So what I do now these days, if you love Indian food, I'm not saying leave your food, that you can't eat food. First thing first is reduce your portion size. Make sure you're not eating this much at once. अगर आप इतना खा रहे हो, you basically spiking your blood sugar.
Okay.
You're giving your body a trauma kind of thing, itna sara, all those sugar or carbs, spiking your blood sugar in your body.
Okay.
And especially if you're just eating and sitting and not moving around, what's happening? All that extra calories, all that extra sugar is basically getting transferred into storage, right? That extra calories. And eventually, it's definitely going to add weight. So a lot of people follows different diet. Yes, one works for other one works for the other one. Some people love keto diet. It does have a side effect. As I said, people love to go on social media and talk about their achievements and their results, but nobody said what happened at the back, right? For example, keto diet. I heard a lot of people end up getting gallbladder stones, kidney stones with the keto diet. With intermittent fasting, a lot of people now I'm hearing complaining about loose skin.
Okay.
So the diet koi bhi karo. Diet koi bhi karo. The whole idea is in your plate, the amount of food should not be this much.
Okay.
Portion control. Thoda khao. That makes your sugar kind of balanced in your blood.
Sugar
So it's not
control mein rehta hai.
spiking. You're not giving your body kind of a shock with all those extra carbs. Sugar is balanced and maintained.
Okay.
So you're avoiding those spikes, right? Other thing, in every meal, you need to make sure you are taking some vegetables, you're taking some fruit or grains, whole grains, and you're adding protein to your diet,
Okay.
right? Protein is must. I can't say it enough. Protein, protein, protein. I can, again, do another episode on protein, why we need protein in our diet. Now, I know there are people outside. They'll be like, oh, we are vegetarians.
Yeah.
Oh, we are vegans. How do we get our protein in our diet? There is so many other ways. It's not just fish or chicken that gives you protein. All the dals and lentils have protein. Soy has protein. Nuts have protein. A lot of other stuff that you can use that gives you a decent amount of protein. So
ये मुझे एक क्वेश्चन है इसके रिगार्डिंग. जैसे वेजिटेरियंस के लिए दाल्स हो गई, तो ये वैसे बहुत चल रहा है अभी कि दाल में बहुत ज़्यादा प्रोटीन होता है. तो हम लोग जैसे दाल घर पे बनती है, जो ग्रेवी एकदम बन गई, तो वैसी दाल खानी चाहिए या फिर कोई स्पेसिफिक वे है उसका जिससे प्रोटीन मिले प्रॉपर?
यही है कि जैसे आपने दाल बनाई है ना, हम लोग तड़का लगाते हैं, प्लीज इतने से तेल में लगाओ.
ओके.
ठीक है, एक तो तेल कम कर दो, और तेल की जगह आई वुड रिकमेंड यूजिंग अपना घी जो होता है.
यस.
That's a good fat, right? I would recommend instead of using canola oil, corn oil, use that. Instead of using 5-6 spoons, use 1 spoon.
ओके.
तड़का लगा के खाओ. उसके साथ जैसे दाल इतनी ली है ना, तो इतने चावल मत लो, इतने से ले लो.
ओके.
Increase your dal intake. Moong dal has really good amount of protein in it. I guess moong dal is one of the dals that has the highest amount of protein. I mean, जैसे खाओ जैसे खा रहे हो अपना इंडियन फूड. एक तो रोटी की क्वांटिटी कम है ना, राइस.
दाल चावल आप कब रेकमेंड करते हो, इन द आफ्टरनून और इन द नाइट?
That's a good question. So I highly recommend eating this type of food with carbs and stuff in it early during the day. So आप active हो, आप चल फिर रहे हो, you're working, you're able to digest, right? And then you can use that same carbs for energy. But if you're eating at night and you're sitting and not doing anything, and an hour later you're going to bed, most of it gonna turn into extra, unnecessary calories. Your body is at resting state, so it's not burning all those extra calories and producing extra energy. So जो use है ये carbohydrates का दिन में अच्छा रहता है. When you are very active, you can burn those calories and you're working. But at night, I would say just have some salad or soup, like 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed, and then just call it a day. Okay. If you are looking to lose weight. But if you're trying to maintain, it's okay if you go a little bit here and there. Or weight lose करने के लिए, another thing is you need to go calorie deficit. So protein also have calories, mind you, but those are good calories. Okay. They take longer to burn, longer to use. So everything, all these stuff, even protein has calories, but those are good calories, means you need that because it will last longer. You will feel fuller for a longer period of time as compared to simple carbs like rice. You eat the rice, spikes your blood sugar because it's simple carb. All that carb goes here, and in 2 hours you're hungry again.
Right.
Because you're using that quickly, but it's not same with the protein, right? Or complex carb. You eat them, they don't spike your sugar that quickly, kind of gives you stable energy, lasts longer, and you feel fuller for a longer period of time.
पनीर को भी प्रोटीन बोलते हैं, तो
पनीर अच्छा है.
Okay.
प्रोटीन है, कैल्शियम भी है, पर उसमें कैलोरीज भी हैं.
Right.
What I'm doing these days, I'm trying to substitute paneer with tofu. Again, tofu is good source of protein
as well.
made of soy.
Yeah.
More vegetarian option, right? So it's hard. I'm changing my daughter's habit too. Again, everything has to be done one step at a time. You don't want to torture yourself like, I'm foodie, right? If somebody be like, okay, change everything, you're not eating anything that you eat, or like, you're going to be on soup for next 5 days, I can't do that. Yeah. I need food. So allow yourself a couple of cheat meals in a week. Work on portion control. Slowly work on changing your diets and habit. With me, I also have account with one of the online provider. My patients can open up their own account online with them.
Okay.
And they let you do some selections. For example, let's take you as an example.
So, before we begin this, can you share where they can, like, watch?
So it's a lab that I'm connected with.
Okay.
It's called Rupa Health.
Okay.
So I have my account with them. So, okay, before we go there, I want to let you know that I run, it's the services that I provide, TRT, BHRT, weight loss. 95% of the time, they're not covered with any insurances because they come under wellness.
Okay.
They come under longevity. They come under performance, right?
Yeah.
So none of the insurances, 95% of the time, there's no chance they will be covered by any insurance.
Okay.
So it's a cash-based practice. Now, obviously, it's hard for everybody to afford all that money. So I try to find resources that are affordable for my patient. For example, if somebody comes in, if they have an insurance and I order blood work, they're more than welcome to take that prescription and run it through their insurance, which is not a problem. Now, if somebody else comes in, they don't have insurance, but I need their blood work to basically see where they stand in order for me to kind of come up with a plan for them and try to have them meet their goal. I'm not saying I'm going to run behind those numbers and blood work, but I need to see where they stand so we can compare and see where the problem is, right?
Okay.
I'll give them a prescription. Now, if they go directly to the labs, they might end up paying $500, $400 for the whole panel. There's Rupa Health, and there's a couple of other providers that I have. They are contracted with local lab.
Okay.
One of them is LabCorp, which you can find in any town. It's very common. Everybody know about LabCorp. Because it's coming from me, I'm a provider, I'm contracted with them. Anybody who takes a prescription from me, they get 80% discount. The same people also provide a benefit of creating meal plan for the patients. Okay. Now, you are my patient. I gave you got your blood work done. Rupa is doing great, I guess. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody else who's doing it, but I do have free resources for. I have resources for any type of exercises they want. I have free app, free YouTube recommendations, resources, a lot of things that I can provide and work with that, depending on what their goal is. So on Rupa, you create your own account as a patient. Now, they have a whole section where you can create your meals for every day, up to 7 days. Okay. For example, you got to pick and choose. So let's say I want to create a meal plan for me for 7 days. I go and log in there. I click vegan. Okay. What are my preferences? Low carb, low sugar, high protein. I want to reduce, maybe say, I want to increase my, well, I picked vegan. So let's just stick with the vegan. But I'm not vegan though. So I click on that. They basically come up with meal plan, daily meal plan for 7 days. And you can go on and on every week to create as many meal plan as you like. They give you a recommendation for breakfast, take this much. And they tell you the portion too. Okay. So they create a balanced diet. Like I would say I want in each diet, I picked fruits also, I picked vegetable also, I picked protein. So now they're generating those meal plans, including all of that in one meal for me. Okay. So it's free.
So it's free for everybody.
I know it's free for my patients, but everybody, I would suggest to log in and see if anybody can access it. But basically it says patient login and provider login.
Yeah.
So I know if I recommend it to my patients, they can log in.
So you need to be her patient first.
So that's one resource, right? Very good resource. I like it.
Yeah.
And I'm not a person who always want to eat Indian food. Yeah. I'm okay. It's nothing wrong with the Indian food. I take it as a treat. With me, my mom knows I love dal. So anytime she makes dal. So I have actually changed my whole household mentality. I focus more and more on healthy food eating, and nobody's perfect again. We do go out and eat. But she knows what I like. Dal, lentils, beans and rajma and all that. Yeah. So I will just have this much rice and more of that, like a whole container of that. But I find that very resourceful because I'm not into too much Indian food over time. Because when I started to modify, now if I eat Indian food, it kind of hurts my tummy and kind of increases my acid, especially if it's spicy. So on daily basis, maybe I eat Indian food once or twice a week. It's mostly I'm not vegetarian, grilled fish, grilled chicken, salads, protein smoothies, basically oats. Okay. 2-3 times. So this is my everyday food.
From this, I would like to know what would be a basic diet for someone who is just starting out his or her weight loss journey. Mm-hmm. What should be the basic diet that you recommend?
So the changes should come slowly. Yeah. I will, depending on what they eat. If they're already coming in to me saying that they eat very clean, I do have journals, right? I give it to them. Sometimes people say they eat clean, right? But when I talk to them over time, I figure out it's not clean eating. Yeah. It's not. So for them, some food items, they think clean, but not clean, right? So with that journal, I kind of figure out where the problem is. So it's more of a personalized approach than in general. Okay. If somebody's really coming in telling me that they eat clean, like you can take my example, pretty much clean. I do try to work out. I would like to
ask a question for audience to understand. What is clean?
Clean, again, portion control, okay, nutrient dense diet. Basically, we are trying to include one protein in each meal, one vegetable, and one fruit if possible. Okay. If somebody likes carb, avoid simple carb. I will recommend for complex carb. Okay. That's a clean eating. That's why I said I do not favor keto. I do not favor intermittent fasting, but whoever doing it, working for them, good for them. Yeah. Those are temporary solutions, right? Yes, somebody did intermittent diet. As I said, they can be successful. They can lose weight, but that weight is not staying off for a long period of time. Okay. Why? Because you didn't change your lifestyle. It's just that temporary fix. You're going to gain weight back again over time. So the focus is basically to help them change the lifestyle. And obviously, if somebody's eating all the junk food, which we all love, and all of a sudden I'll be like, no, you can't eat that. Now you have to eat dal every day. Yeah. No rice for you. Eat this. They'll get tired. So the change has to be done slowly and steadily. So they don't get overwhelmed. So
they get on a track of a healthier lifestyle.
That's the whole idea. And while they're trying to do that and in their weight loss journey, I'm working with them and adding stuff as I see what needs to be corrected. For example, if they're already eating clean, as I said, good clean diet, protein, like I do. Most of my days when I'm working, it's oatmeal, salad, always a protein. It's either fish. I'm a big fan of fish, grilled chicken. And when I'm grilling, I'm not pouring all the oil. No. It's usually I marinate with yogurt, Greek yogurt, healthy stuff, right? And then oats, a couple of days oats. And then smoothies pretty much every day. I add protein powder in it just to make sure that I'm getting enough protein. Because I realize it helps a lot. You will see when, I can sit here talk for hours and hours. You would not get it until you see the change and how it makes you feel. Yeah. I mean, just I don't listen to anyone until, it just fits in here and I know I have to do it. And now I'm seeing changes and I'm loving it. And I still have to go 20 more pounds. But if somebody's coming in with okay, and I know it's hard. Somebody who works 5-6 days, it's hard for them to hit the gym every single day, depending on, like, I do 12-hour shifts in urgent care. I work 5 days, 6 days. And after 12-hour shift, do I have the energy to go to gym? Not really. Yeah. But now with all these education stuff like that, I found a ways to first, if somebody, again, it's all personalized. Somebody says, I can go and work out, but I don't have energy to go to gym. So now my first thing is they're eating clean. I want them to start somewhere, in the gym to work out, some lifting. I'm going to give them some energy. I'm going to work on their energy level first to give them that, kick and pump that they can go and start somewhere, something, maybe a day or two. Okay. Then the next thing is to focus on their diet. Now, doing all of that, now they're working out 3-4 days. I don't expect 6-7 days, especially with those people who work 5-6 days, have kids. So now they come in, they're like, we're still not losing weight. Okay, I looked at their, that part, that's checked. Good with the eating. Now, exercise part is checked. Now I really want to look at their hormones, what the underlying issue is. So that's where my focus would be next. Or if they're already coming in with all that, I will take their blood work to kind of see, is it thyroid that's causing the issue? Or is it testosterone? Is it what else? Like, is it a combination of all? To work on that, to basically fix their hormones, increase their metabolism, and testosterone does help with the weight loss and muscle gain. So once they start seeing the result, that's gonna motivate them to do more and more. That's the key. So I don't wanna, I don't like to pressurize people and set the expectation and make them feel like, yes, medications help again. With that, if I feel like they need medications, we discuss that too. So it's all about an individual. It's not one size fits all. Everything depends on the person who's coming in.
So when a person expects like they can lose weight and they need to lose weight in a month, in 2 months, what should be a good goal? Like, when can you expect to actually see the results? How much?
It's not healthy. So if somebody's coming in, I want to lose 20 pounds in a month. No, it's not healthy. Okay. You can starve yourself, go and exercise 3 hours, but that is not healthy. You probably will end up losing all the muscles you have, which basically helps in fat burning, right? You end up getting to your goal. I have done it too. Okay. So you end up with those shabby and loose skins, pretty much on your tummy, thighs, and arms. And then all that, when you exercise crazy, right? You're exercising for hours. So, okay, so what's the point of exercising when we do cardio or when we do strength training? We discussed a little bit on a lot of benefits, but what it does is it causes micro injuries to your muscles.
Yes.
So those micro injuries, little damages needed for you to recover, right? To build more muscle, along with enough and sufficient protein. Yeah. But if you damaging them too much, all you need to do is a little bit damage, not too much damage, micro. But if you're doing too much damage to your muscles, they produces high amount of lactic acid. That can mess up your whole internal pH, whole body system. There's a lot of science behind it, but I'm trying to explain it in an easier and understandable way. So too much exercise doesn't do you good.
Okay.
So the whole idea,
it should be balanced. Like it should be diet plus exercise.
So goals should be healthy goals, I would say, where you're not losing your muscles. You're losing it in a healthy way. Your skin is not losing too much. You're enjoying your life too and not stressing out yourself. You're taking enough nutrients and your body is in a good, healthy state. So the ideal, I would say, is if you're losing somewhere, again, it can vary person to person, 5-6 pounds a month is a decent number. Okay. Slow, but continue. 5-6 pound a month is a very good number. I would not recommend losing 20 pound, 10 pound a month. Definitely you can, but you're going to end up sacrificing something else.
So that's not good for your health.
Not at all.
And nothing should be extreme.
No.
No extreme diets, no extreme exercises.
No. You will achieve your goal, but few months or years later, you're going to be back to zero, square one.
There will be certain side effects to your health.
One more thing I realized, people on GLP-1 complains of hair loss.
Okay.
So it's not the GLP-1 that's causing the hair loss. It's really what happens is with GLP-1 or any weight loss medications, they target differently. So some of these medications suppressing your hunger in your brain. So basically it suppresses a signal. Your brain doesn't get a signal anymore saying that you're hungry, so you don't eat.
Okay.
Other medications kind of delaying your gastric emptying. Let me make it simple. So the movement of food from your mouth to your stomach, that pouch here. So in a normal person who's not taking medication, you eat food, it goes to your tummy, it goes down to your rectum, and we excrete it out. But when you're on these medications, that food that you're eating, it's staying in your tummy for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
For hours. Instead of 1 or 2 hours, now it's there for 5, 6 hours. So the movement of food is kind of delayed.
Okay.
You don't feel hungry because that food is not going down or passing out. So some of the people, and then what happens is you're not feeling hungry whole day now because you're on GLP-1. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
It could be other medications too.
Yeah.
Now, for example, you took your injection in the morning, now you're not hungry. It's 6 o'clock at night. You felt a little bit hungry. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to eat chips or something fad, like no nutrient or no protein. Now, your body is kind of depleting from protein and from all those nutrients, vitamins, good food, like that food that you need to keep your skin glowing, your hair, all that. And in return, you being on GLP-1 for 3 months, now you're seeing your hair is falling. It's not falling because of the side effect. It's falling because every time you were hungry, you didn't eat what you're supposed to eat.
Right.
So the idea is every time you're hungry, you're pushing good food. You're eating high protein rich diet. I sometimes also tell my patients to add vitamins.
Yeah.
Because-
Multivitamins?
Yes, because if you're eating only once a day, as versus you were eating 4 times a day, definitely in one time. Now also, mind you being eating once a day over time, it's also shrinking your tummy size. Yes. So where you were eating this much, even though you're eating once a day, now you're eating only this much because of the shrinking of your tummy. So the whole idea is you eat nutrient-dense, high-protein food. But again, if you're eating once a day because you're not feeling hungry because of those medications, you eat good food. That's the whole idea. And if you're still not able to get everything in one diet, which most of the time is not possible, idea is to start multivitamins. Okay. So you're avoiding your hair loss, you're avoiding your skin looking, old and kind of tired and, So that's why you need a provider. These are the things we walk through. These are the things we help you. These are the things when I see my patient started to lose weight and I know now their food intake is very low, I come into the play. Be like, okay, it's a good time. You should start vitamins, multivitamins. If they can't eat or they don't want to eat food high in protein, I will tell them make smoothies. Okay. That way you eating some fruit in the smoothies, some fruit, and then add protein powder.
Perfect.
So you're getting that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all this comes into the play when you go definitely with someone who's there, who learned it through, have some experience. These things are important. So hair loss is not directly, I don't think it's directly related to the side effects of GLP-1. Okay. It's because people deprive themselves with all the minerals and nutrients that they need.
I have read somewhere that fiber is good for hair and skin. Is it true?
Fiber is good. Not really for the skin and hair. There are other things that I would recommend for skin and hair. For example, collagen, protein. Yes. It's a holy grain, like testosterone is a holy grain. So protein helps. Okay. Multivitamin helps. If you're really focusing on hair growth, then biotin.
Okay.
Biotin, it's a supplement that you can get on over the counter at any pharmacy.
Okay.
That helps with the skin, nails, hair. So hair loss can also be caused by imbalanced hormones.
Okay.
Not only just nutrient deficiency, but also when you're, in case of hypothyroidism, when you're thyroid. This is our thyroid, right?
Yeah.
It releases hormones, T3 and T4. When they're imbalanced or low in the body, it makes it difficult for you to lose weight. Why? Because metabolism is low. It also causes, I'm just giving you some,
Yeah.
but there are other things they cause. Hair loss is one of them.
Okay.
So if it's hormonal, biotin may not help. If it's related to autoimmune diseases. Now, what autoimmune is? Autoimmune diseases are some of those diseases where your own immune system, our immune system fight against foreign stuff, right?
Okay.
Now, in this case, our own immune system is fighting with our own body, taking it as foreign. So it started to basically damage our own tissues and cell. Some of these autoimmune diseases are many. Some of them is lupus. There's many, actually. There's a Crohn's disease, like a lot of autoimmune issues. What happens is our own body, our immune system becomes our enemy. So that can also cause hair loss if you have underlying autoimmune issues.
Okay.
So depending on what the reason is, biotin can be helpful if you don't have issues with the hormones, if you don't have issues with autoimmune issues, it's just you're seeing thinning in your hair, some hair loss, you can start biotin. Now, I do have one person who came to me and said, I took biotin for 6 months. It doesn't do anything. Okay. How many milligrams did you take? For hair loss, it's recommended to take close to 8,000 to 10,000 milligrams of biotin a day. Okay. So if you're taking...
It's like 1 tablet, 2 tablets.
Depends. So if you're taking, for example, over-the-counter biotin that has 5,000 in it, I will say pop 2 together.
Okay.
Make it 10,000. Or if it has 4,000, at least go for 8,000 if you're focusing on hair growth through biotin.
Okay.
So, and also replacing your protein and adding nutrient. This all in a combination would help with the hair growth and hair thinning. That's one thing, right? Only if there's no hormone imbalance and autoimmune. So this is the way you go. A lot of people use biotin and be like, okay, but the milligram has to be sufficient enough. So that's one of the other reasons for some people biotin don't do anything. And then it's a slow process.
Yeah.
You're taking biotin, next week you're like, why am I not having my hair grown? Yeah. Could take 3 to 6 months, minimum 3 months for you to basically start seeing the results. And I would recommend for long term, somewhere from 9 to 12 months.
Okay.
For healthy hair.
Let's talk about TRT. What is TRT and why is it that people assume it's just for men in bodybuilding?
So the full form of TRT is testosterone replacement therapy. So what is testosterone? Let's talk about that. So testosterone is a hormone, steroid hormone, that's naturally produced and found in male body and female too. But it's the main hormone that is produced in males. This is what makes somebody a male.
Okay.
It gives all the male characteristics. It helps in secondary sexual characteristics, development. It's just something that makes man a man, right? Very important. And I'm all about hormones and testosterone. And I think it's a holy grail.
Okay.
Not only it just do those things, but if I keep on going, you're gonna need a whole episode.
Okay.
But I'm gonna stick to the main points and talk more basic stuff. So TRT, or testosterone, so to speak, our steroid hormone, is not only for bodybuilders, it's for everyone. Everyone need testosterone. Okay. Amount can vary. So when you're young, when males or female, or especially males, let's talk about males, when they're young, their body produces testosterone.
Okay.
Right? It's produced in cells of the testes.
Okay.
In a natural male, right, with no underlying abnormalities, So there's primary hypogonadism, there's secondary, there's a lot, but I'm going to make it for our general public. So a lot of things can play a role and suppress your testosterone production. But let's assume we are talking about somebody who's healthy, young, making decent amount of testosterone, right? Whatever their body need, wonderful life. But with the age, their testosterone level decline. Okay. Their body now is not producing the same amount of testosterone as they were when they were in their 20s.
Okay.
Right? This can be caused by age, one of the factor as we age. Second, we people on daily basis are exposed to toxins.
Yes.
Plastic. We warm our food in plastics. We use microwave. We do the groceries in plastic. All that plastics, all that preservatives, all the chemicals and pollution that we are around, it disrupts our hormone. Okay. It actually messes up with our endocrine system, causing hormonal imbalance. And testosterone is one of them. Okay. So many factors is responsible, right? Our food, our chemicals that we are always surrounded with, our age, our lifestyle where we are not eating good and exercising. So the natural way to increase testosterone levels is by eating nutrient-dense food, protein and stuff, and weightlifting, especially lower body. So that's a natural way that you can increase your testosterone.
That's just for men or both?
Both.
Okay.
Both. But the difference is testosterone is male hormone. Basically, that's what makes you a male. Okay. So you guys need it no matter what, in good amount. Women do need it, but in very, very less amount as compared to men.
Why does a woman need testosterone?
Because testosterone is what makes you man.
Yes.
As a woman, I don't want to pump up myself with testosterone, look like a man and get a mustache and beard, and my voice is like a man, deep pitch. Nobody wants. Women, of course, we want to look feminine. Yeah. But at the same time, we want the benefit. Okay. So that's why the amount what a female need is 1/10 or maybe less than what a male need. Okay. Because there are other benefits. So testosterone is what makes you a man, but we want to stick with our feminism, but we want the benefit part.
So what are the specific benefits, if we can talk?
Many. Let's start with testosterone, what it does it. Beside what we discussed earlier, it makes you a man. Okay. It gives you your sexual counterparts development, your secondary sexual characteristics, makes you, beard, mustache, that voice change, all that stuff. That's definitely you guys need it. But beside that, it helps with the weight loss. Okay. It helps with the muscle gain. It's a holy grail. Okay. Better sleep, better mood, better well-being, longevity, prevents a lot of health issues. And on top of that, it's very anti-inflammatory. Okay. Testosterone and progesterone. Progesterone is female hormone. We will talk about it when we talk about women's health. Yeah. These two are very anti-inflammatory. They are the best. I just can't talk much about it. Okay. They do a whole lot of things. Basically, testosterone affects every single tissue in your body. Helps with the metabolism, weight loss, muscle gain, brain fog, gives you energy, makes you who you are, basically.
So these are also the benefits for women?
Yes, along with progesterone. So we don't want that manly characteristics development in us. So a little bit of testosterone is good enough to get the benefit of losing weight. Usually when you have a difficulty in losing weight, if you have a weight around your belly, it targets that specific weight right here. We want muscles too. These days, women like muscles. Yeah. Protein and the testosterone and hormone balance helps with that. And see, one thing I want to tell people, when I say protein helps the muscle building, right? Muscle gain. Now, if somebody is coming to me in 3 months, be like, all I'm eating is protein, but I made only a little bit of muscle. So it's a multiple approach.
Okay.
Like you cannot make pasta with just having pasta. You need sauce, you need cheese, you need gas, you need pan.
Yeah.
Right? So all that when we do gives us a nice recipe of pasta, right? Same when we're talking about muscle gain.
Okay.
It's a combination of few things. You are doing weight training along with protein high diet and testosterone. All these will help to make you achieve your goal. Testosterone does help, but it's not just for males or for bodybuilders, yes. But the other thing I have noticed is people abuse testosterone.
Okay.
That's why a lot of people talk about testosterone because of the side effects. Oh, it increases blood clot. Oh, it does that. Yeah, if you're going to abuse it. Yeah. The recommended doses, you start with testosterone, right? 100, 150, 200, depending on individual, depending on what their needs are, depending on what their levels are, depending on at what dose they feel good, right? Okay. So anybody who has low testosterone or anyone along with the low testosterone level, it doesn't have to be completely abnormal, even if they're in a normal range, but on a lower side.
Yeah.
And they're suffering with unable to lose body fat, especially in this area, not able to gain muscles, have a brain fog, irritable mood, difficulty in sleeping, body aches, joint pain. They just feel off the sync. They don't feel the same.
So these are the early signs of low testosterone?
Well, these are the signs of low testosterone. Some people will have one or two, and some people will have full-blown.
Okay.
Again, individual to individual. Some might only feel brain fog, low motivation. Yeah. Like when all of a sudden I started to get up in the morning and I feel like I want to go to work, but I wasn't like this.
Yeah.
I'm always okay to go to work. I'm at work. Why am I aching? Why am I so tired? Yeah. Now I'm coming back. I'm working out. I'm eating clean. What's wrong with me? Why am I not losing weight? Why? Like, it can be three things to one person, or maybe somebody's coming with all full-blown symptoms.
Okay.
That concentration is off. The focus is off. What's wrong with me? You know yourself, I know myself. So if something is off, I will be the first one who will know, right?
Yes.
I know that my energy levels are always high. And after, a few months later, I feel like I don't have the same energy level. My body is achy. My joints are achy. I feel out of sync. Why am I having these pauses? Why am I not able to clear think? Yeah. Why am I always distracted? You weren't like this 6 months before, but now you like this. Something is off. You know yourself, right? So you will figure out. Your body will tell you, I'm doing everything. I'm eating protein. I'm doing weight training. Why am I not still able to make muscles? So testosterone is also famous because of that reason in bodybuilders. But then they abuse. Yeah. And then with all those side effects, all the blame goes to testosterone.
Yeah.
So now the recommended doses 100, 150, 200, depending on person's need. Now they're doing 500 a week, 700, because they want to look all that big, fluffy, all that with the muscles and look hot and bodybuilder. Now, if they're abusing it, a lot of people does, okay? Testosterone is one of the hormone that is being abused on a higher level. Okay. Usually with bodybuilders is known as steroid. Okay. So it's a steroid hormone. A lot of people don't know testosterone. A lot of people just know it as steroid. Yes. So they pump themselves with the steroids, testosterone. Yeah. You abuse it. Yeah. And then they end up with blood clots, high hematocrit. Okay. They are taking it up to a point where they're in their red blood cell, the amount of hematocrit is high, very high. And then what that does is it makes your blood thick, very thick. That puts at risk for
heart attacks,
for strokes. Yeah. Because that thick blood is not being able to pass through the things. Yeah. It becoming those clots. blocking arteries, causing strokes, causing heart attack, because you abused it.
So this is why this is the actual reason that the current young bodybuilders, we see them like they are lifting and it's like a stroke and they are no more.
That's why it should be done. So, okay, let me give you an example. So suppose I'm monitoring someone's testosterone level.
Okay.
My focus is to help them get to their goal, which could be different. For example, muscle gain.
Okay.
I'm also keeping an eye on their levels. So I'm not overdosing them, but I'm giving them enough so they can gain muscles and feel good.
Right.
Like they're coming in with brain fog, body aches, unable to lose weight at this part, difficulty in gaining muscle. I'm working in multiple places. I'm adding testosterone. If there's other things, I just don't work with the testosterone. It also helps with other things. And there's other medications that I can add. So there's a lot of things besides testosterone, but let's stick to the testosterone. So I'm monitoring their blood work. So until they are not stable, I'm meeting them depending on if I'm starting them very new. I will do blood work in 6 weeks to see how their liver functions are, how their hematocrit is, if there's anything I need to adjust, increase, decrease dose, or break the dose. Then I'm also, once they're stable, then I would do every 6 months. So in case if I see somebody's hematocrit is going higher to a level where it's kind of dangerous, I will either reduce the dose, monitor them, or have them donate blood out.
Is TRT safe?
Absolutely. I think TRT is amazing. Testosterone, all these hormones, not every hormone, but mostly we're talking about testosterone here. It's a holy grail. Okay. It doesn't cause us health issues if it's being done correctly. What I'm trying to say is not abused and being monitored by a certified provider.
Okay.
I think it can reverse a lot of health issues. And the benefit, as I mentioned earlier, you name it, it has all the benefits. It's amazing. I don't think it has any bad side effects if it's done correctly.
Okay. So how is TRT administered?
So there are different ways we can do TRT. So there are a few, and the best one is via injection. So we can do via injections, creams, and pellets. Okay. I personally do not like pellets. So pellets, what they do is they basically put testosterone under your skin, right? So the reason I don't like pellets, everybody is different. Once it gone, because it's a small invasive procedure, right? They do small cut, they insert that the whole pellet inside your skin. That area is kind of sore for a few days. It can create bruises. Not everybody like it. Right? The reason I don't like it is that once the pellets are done, you are stuck with that dose for months. So, for example, if you having some side effect, or if you want to adjust the dose, increase or decrease, you can't do it. You have to put up with that set dose for months until it's your turn for the next pellet. But it's not true with creams and injections. There is always a room and space for you to adjust the dose. The reason I like injections more over creams, because it has a higher absorption rate. That's one thing. With creams, you got to be very careful. So the creams, what you do is it goes in your inner thighs. Okay. Now, you put the creams. If you have pets and kids in the house, right? You're interacting with them. That pet is sitting over your thighs. Unnecessarily, you're transferring those testosterones to your kids, to your loved ones, to your pet. They may not need those hormones. Yes. The creams, you got to be very careful. If you're in a household, I know it's painless. Yeah. A lot of people don't like injections. One, the absorption rate is lower. Okay. Two, you got to be mindful. Yeah. Especially if you have kids, your loved ones, or pets. Yes. So you're not transferring all these hormones which they don't need. Right. So injections is a better route to go, but creams are also recommended as long as, you can just keep some things in mind.
How long does it take for someone to see results after TRT treatment?
So when we start testosterone replacement therapy, everyone is different again.
Yes.
So it's approximately 4 to 6 weeks when you started to see benefits. Full benefits come in effect in, I would say, 3 to 4 months. Okay. You will see, you will have full, complete benefit, but you will start to feel things getting better in 4 to 6 weeks. It can vary person to person too.
Okay. So is it general or for men or women? Is it different?
So the effect part is same.
Okay.
The only thing is doses vary.
Okay.
Female require way lower dose than males. So it's probably 1/10 or less of what a man needs. It's the dose that varies. The benefit part, it's a pretty much same benefits for females too.
So what signs should one look for before starting a TRT?
In young ages these days, because of the exposure that we have with all these hormonal imbalances, endocrine disrupting hormones, plastics, exposure to the chemicals in the pollution, even the young kids these days having low libido, erection issues, difficulty in making muscle mass, losing weight, brain fog. So if we're talking about when I was young, it used to be approximately after the age, say 35, when people were really needing or experiencing hormone imbalances. But as we are advancing in new era or generation, you're seeing young kids kind of need testosterone therapy in early ages. Okay. So things are different. We are exposed to more toxins now. Our lifestyle, eating habits, exposure to all these unnecessary chemicals, maybe some genetic plays role, obesity, fat tissue, very disrupting for the hormones too. Causes inflammation. Long-term inflammation can definitely disrupt your hormones. And anytime, age is just a number. Anytime you feel like you have signs and symptoms such as issue with erections, lower sexual desire, libido, you are seeing more fat in this area. You're not gaining a muscle, even though you're being on protein diet, trying weightlifting, not losing weight, even though you're eating good and doing whatever needs to be done. As I said, hormonal imbalance. So testosterone is a hormone. And it's very much needed. You're having brain fog. You're feeling shitty. You're getting up with all these aches. You just don't feel yourself. Yeah. That whole, tiredness, irritable, mood swings, all that. Any of those symptoms starts, and you know that it's a time to do the check. to do the check.
So is TRT a lifelong therapy?
It is. It is. So in order for us to get all those benefits, we need healthy levels of hormones in our body. Okay. Now, if your body is not making those hormones, you need to replace those hormones. Absolutely. Doesn't matter how you replace it. But if a magic happens and your body started to make those hormones good, but majority of the time when you age, your body functions decline, hormonal levels decline because your body is not producing the same way. So as long as you need the benefit, as long as you want to feel on the seventh sky or get all the benefit, wonderful benefit, you need to take it to replace those hormones levels.
So it was wonderful talking to you on weight loss and TRT.
Thank you.
And we might also talk about other subjects later on in the next episode. And so it was nice having you here.
Thank you. So I do want to tell our audience that we are planning to do another episode where we will be focusing on women's health, hair loss, and peptides, right?
Right.
Wonderful, things to talk about. Of course. I do want to let them know if they have any questions on the material that we discussed. they're more than welcome to send all the inquiries and questions to you guys. And
Yes.
you are always welcome to get in touch with me. And I will be, happily able to provide them correct answers.
Surely.
And they're also welcome to visit my website. You guys will be providing all the information
Yeah,
about
we
my
will provide-
telehealth services.
yeah.
Yes. They're more than, if you guys if there's anything personal or they want to discuss and they are hesitant to ask publicly, you guys are more than welcome to get in touch with me. Ask me any questions. I'm pretty much open. My phone number is there on my website. My address is there. And if somebody, comes to you for any type of questions, I'm more than happy to answer in our next episode. And I guess once we decide when we're going to do the next episode, you guys will let them know.
Yep.
And feel free to send me any questions, even on our upcoming topics for women's health, peptides, and hair loss. I'll be happy to answer.
So if you have any questions regarding these topics, you can share it with us. You can share it on our comments. And we will also provide all the links in the description of this video. And you can reach out to them. Definitely, they are professionals. So it will be helpful for you. Before taking any decisions, you should always go to a professional. Thank you so much for watching Ambitalk presented by Ambigramy. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to press the bell icon so that you never miss an episode from us. See you in the next episode.